Hello out there, check what I have for you today. This right here is the Protech Calmigo, and this is Protech's newest California legal auto knife. And so you can see it's a relatively small knife, but it is a little bit different than the other offerings that are available for the California market when it comes to automatic knives. So these ones just came out this month. The only place I think that they're in stock at currently is Blade Ops. So when I saw that it was in stock, I bought the first option available for these. And so this right here is the 2203 Calmigo limited first production run. And this one has the black handle and a plain edge 154 cm blade. And so you can see in hand, again, it's a much smaller knife than most because of California's laws requiring a sub 2-inch blade on automatic knives. So they went with this design here. You can see the blade shape is kind of a traditional drop point, which I like. 154 cm steel and a nice satin finish with the Protech logo. The knife itself, of course, the button, I mean, it's very strong and snappy action, so very impressive for that. And it has a lock. So you can lock the action and prevent the button from being pressed. Or once it's open, you can also lock it and prevent the knife from closing. So that's just an additional safety feature. It is very flush button with the handle, so it's not going to open accidentally. It does take a fairly deliberate push to open it up. And so this knife right here, the Protech Calmigo, the difference between this and some of the other current California legal offerings is that the handle's a little bit longer than average. And I say a little bit because I'm going to show you some comparisons right now. The last California legal knife I purchased was this one right here. This is the Kershaw Launch 4. So this one doesn't have a safety on it, but otherwise it is somewhat similar. Check out the size comparison right there. You might notice that the Calmigo has a slightly longer handle. As well as a different blade shape. So the Launch 4 went with kind of this dagger shape blade, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's kind of hard to sharpen. It's not as good for utility tasks as a traditional drop point blade is going to be. But you can see the comparison here. I will mention the deep carry clip on the Launch 4 here is not the stock clip. This clip that the Launch 4 usually comes with is something more similar to this one here. So it's just a generic Kershaw clip. So the Launch 4 is another option in this market, and now discontinued, I believe, but we also have the Benchmade Impel, and this is a small California legal auto as well. This one also has a safety feature on it and a pocket clip on the other side, so very different styling here. But I will note, out of these three knives, the Impel, the Launch 4, and the Calmigo. The Calmigo is the heaviest of the three. So let's weigh it here. 2.17 ounces. So 2.17 for the Calmigo. 1.89 for the Launch 4. And the lightest of the bunch, I believe, is this one here. So the Impel weighs in at 1.39. So you can see the overall size comparison between these two as well. And Protech is coming out with a pretty good variety of these California legal autos, because this one was a toss-up because I wanted to buy a new auto, but it was a toss-up between the Protech Calmigo here and a toss-up between the Protech Half-Breed. And the Half-Breed is another sub 2-inch blade, but it has an even larger, more substantial handle to it. And so I think that's a great option for people who want the California legal auto knife but don't want a tiny diminutive knife to go along with it, you know, a bigger handle. And this is kind of maybe about the halfway ground between that point, because the handle length is 3.5 inches, and so the overall length is about 5.5 inches. So it's just a smidge longer than these two options here. So I think it's a nice little offering. This one I just heard about recently from knifenews.com, I believe. And so according to knifenews.com, they had a little article on it, so I follow them on Facebook. So I just saw that Protech was coming out with a new California legal auto, and I decided that I would go for this one rather than the Half-Breed, because this one does have the more traditional blade profile, and I think it's a bit more useful. But let's ranking these three knives, just arbitrarily. From my viewpoint, they go in this order. The Calmigo is the nicest of the three. The full aluminum handles, fully contained, lanyard hole, deep carry pocket clip. This one is very nice, and the button action is not gritty, it's very smooth, and it fires very hard. So it's very quick and snappy. The best action of these three right here. The Launch 4, I would say, comes next because it is a decent action. The blade is a little bit hard to sharpen. When I've sharpened it before, I end up hitting the edges of the frame. Kind of close call there. But there's no safety on this one. But nonetheless, it is a nice solid knife, and the action is pretty good too. It's not quite as snappy as the Calmigo there, but it is a good knife. So the Launch 4 is pretty good as well. And I would go over with the Launch 4 a little bit over the Impel. This one has the slowest action of the three. Feels just a little bit weaker. Now, I bought this knife used, so I don't know the life that this knife had before I had it. It does look a little bit more stylish, more classy, just because a different knife designer went and made this design. And it's tip down carry. So this would be my third choice, but it's still a great knife. So these California legal autos, hopefully the market will expand on these. If you go to Blade Ops now, I noticed now, I just looked it up recently, they have these with blue anodization, so the handles are blue, and they also have this offered with a black coated blade. So this is not the only option available to you currently. So nice little run of knives they have set out for them. This tempts me. I really kind of want to try out the half-breed now, so maybe I'll pick up that one in the future, because it's all around the same price point, a little over $100. So that being said, the Protech is the most expensive of these three. The Launch 4s go for less than $100. And these ones here, you're going to get them used, but probably less than $100, I would say, based on how well used they are. So I just wanted to share this knife with you. I know there's a video that Blade Ops has put out, but I wanted to give you a side-by-side comparison with all of the competitive options for this knife. If anyone has any comments, please let me know. This is my first Protech, so unfortunately I can't compare it to the Sprint or the Runt, but the Calmigo on its own, fairly good knife. I'm very happy with how it performs so far. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.